What if I told you that some of the strangest animal behaviors on Earth aren't just weird? They're survival strategies that have evolved over millions of years. From slugs that sacrifice body parts to escape danger, to ocean creatures that form living chains, the animal kingdom is filled with reproductive strategies so bizarre they sound like science fiction. But here's the thing. Behind every strange behavior is a fascinating story of adaptation, survival, and evolution. Today, we're diving deep into the world of animal reproduction. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at nature the same way again. Let's start with one of the most unusual creatures in North American forests, the banana slug. These bright yellow gastropods can grow up to 10 inches long, making them one of the largest slug species on the continent. But size isn't the only impressive thing about them. Banana slugs are hermaphrodites, meaning each individual has both male and female reproductive organs. This adaptation is incredibly useful in the dense forests of the Pacific Northwest, where they live, because finding a mate in the undergrowth can be challenging. When any two banana slugs meet, they can both potentially reproduce, doubling their chances of passing on their genes. Now, here's where things get really interesting. During mating, banana slugs engage in a process that can last several hours. They intertwine their bodies, exchanging sperm in what scientists call reciprocal mating. But sometimes, due to the proportions involved, the mating pair can become physically stuck together. This isn't just an uncomfortable situation, it's genuinely dangerous. Predators like raccoons, birds, and even certain beetles actively hunt slugs, and two slugs locked together make an easy target. So, what's the solution? In a behavior scientists call apophyllation, one or both slugs will actually chew through the reproductive organ to separate. Yes, you heard that right. They literally bite it off. But before you feel too bad for these slugs, here's the fascinating part. Because they're hermaphrodites, losing the male reproductive organ doesn't end their ability to reproduce. They can still function as females, producing and laying eggs. In fact, research from the University of California has shown that banana slugs that have undergone apophyllation continue to thrive in their ecosystems, contributing to population stability. This incredible adaptation shows just how flexible nature can be when it comes to survival. And if you're already finding this fascinating, go ahead and hit that like button, because we're just getting started with the weird world of animal reproduction. Scientists didn't expect what they found next when they started studying marine worms in greater detail. The ocean is home to some of the most extreme reproductive strategies on Earth, and few are more dramatic than those of certain deep-sea worms. Take the green spoonworm, or Bonellia viridis, for example. This species has one of the most extreme cases of sexual dimorphism in the animal kingdom. The females can grow up to 6 inches long, with a proboscis that extends even further to capture food. But the males, they're microscopic, barely a few millimeters long, and they live as parasites inside the female's body. Here's how it works. When a green spoon worm larva settles in the ocean, its sex isn't predetermined by genetics like it is in humans. Instead, it's determined by where it lands. If the larva settles on bare rock or sediment, it develops into a female. But if it lands on or near an existing female, chemical signals from that female trigger the larva to develop into a male. The male then migrates into the female's body, usually settling in her reproductive tract, where he lives out his entire life producing sperm. He doesn't eat. He doesn't grow. He just exists to fertilize eggs. And when his job is done, his body breaks down and is absorbed. This might sound horrific from a human perspective, but it's actually a brilliant evolutionary strategy for life in the deep ocean. Finding a mate in the vast darkness of the ocean floor is incredibly difficult. By ensuring that males literally live inside females, the species guarantees reproductive success. Recent studies from marine biology institutes in 2025 have revealed that this strategy is more common than previously thought, with dozens of deep-sea species employing similar tactics. It's a reminder that what seems strange to us often makes perfect sense in the context of an animal's environment. But here's where the story gets even stranger. Not all marine creatures have such extreme size differences, but many have equally unusual mating behaviors. Sea hares, which are actually large sea slugs despite their name, have developed one of the most peculiar reproductive strategies in the ocean. These creatures, which can grow up to 30 inches long and weigh several pounds, are also hermaphrodites. But unlike banana slugs that mate in pairs, sea hares form mating chains that can include dozens of individuals. Picture this. You're floating in the ocean during sea hare mating season, and you come across what looks like a living rope of purple and brown creatures, all connected in a line. Each sea hare in the chain is simultaneously acting as male to the individual in front of it, and female to the individual behind it. The only exceptions are the ones at the very front and very back of the chain, who are acting as purely female or purely male, respectively. These chains can last for many hours, with individuals joining and leaving as the process continues. It's one of nature's most efficient reproductive strategies, allowing multiple individuals to exchange genetic material simultaneously. Now, sea hares are also famous for something else, their defense mechanism. When threatened, they release a purple ink into the water. But this isn't just for show. The ink contains chemicals called toxins, which are actually toxic to potential predators. Recent research published in marine biology journals in 2025 has shown that these toxins are derived from the sea hares' diet of red algae. The sea hares don't produce the toxins themselves. They concentrate them from their food and repurpose them for defense. This is called sequestration, and it's a common strategy among marine invertebrates. The purple cloud serves multiple purposes. It confuses predators, tastes terrible, and can even cause mild poisoning if ingested in large quantities. But the mating chains themselves aren't without risk. The process is exhausting, and sea hares in the middle of long chains can become so depleted of energy that they struggle to survive afterward. Studies have shown that mortality rates increase with the duration of mating, especially in areas where food is scarce. However, the evolutionary benefits outweigh the risks. By participating in these chains, each sea hare maximizes its chances of both fertilizing eggs and being fertilized, ensuring its genes continue into the next generation. It's a numbers game, and in the ocean, playing the odds often means the difference between evolutionary success and extinction. Most people have this completely wrong when it comes to insect reproduction. We tend to think of insects as simple creatures with basic behaviors, but the reality is far more complex. Take the seed beetle, for instance. These tiny insects, which infest stored beans and grains worldwide, have developed one of the most controversial reproductive strategies in the animal kingdom. Male seed beetles have evolved reproductive organs covered in spines, and during mating, these spines actually pierce the female's reproductive tract. This sounds brutal, and in many ways it is. The trauma caused by mating can reduce a female's lifespan and make her less likely to mate with other males. From an evolutionary perspective, This is exactly what the male wants. By causing damage, he reduces the female's ability or willingness to mate again, increasing the chances that his sperm, and only his sperm, will fertilize her eggs. Scientists call this traumatic insemination, and it's been documented in several insect species. But here's the fascinating part. Females have evolved counter-adaptations. Over generations, female seed beetles have developed thicker, more resilient reproductive tracts that can better withstand the trauma. It's an evolutionary arms race, with each sex developing new adaptations to maximize their own reproductive success. Research published in entomology journals in 2025 has revealed even more complexity to this system. It turns out that the male's seminal fluid contains not just sperm, but also proteins that alter the female's behavior and physiology. Some of these proteins reduce her receptivity to other males, while others increase her egg-laying rate. From the male's perspective, this is a way to control the female's reproductive choices even after mating is complete. From the female's perspective, it's a chemical manipulation that she has to resist. The result is a constant evolutionary tug-of-war, with neither sex ever gaining complete control. Now, before you start thinking all insect reproduction is this adversarial, let me share some good news. Many insect species have evolved cooperative mating strategies where both partners benefit. Butterflies, for example, often engage in elaborate courtship displays where males must prove their fitness before females will accept them. Some male butterflies even provide nuptial gifts, packets of nutrients that the female can use to produce healthier eggs. These gifts can make up a significant portion of the male's body weight, representing a real investment in the female's reproductive success. It's a reminder that evolution doesn't always favor conflict. Sometimes cooperation is the winning strategy. If you're enjoying these fascinating facts about animal reproduction, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss future videos. We're covering everything from the deepest oceans to the highest mountains, bringing you the most interesting animal facts backed by the latest science. Now, let's talk about one more group of animals with truly bizarre reproductive strategies: deep-sea anglerfish. Anglerfish are already famous for their appearance, with enormous mouths full of translucent teeth and a bioluminescent lure dangling in front of their faces. But their reproductive strategy is even more extreme than their looks. In many anglerfish species, males are tiny compared to females, sometimes 100 times smaller. And when a male finds a female in the dark depths of the ocean, he doesn't just mate with her and swim away. Instead, he bites into her body and fuses with her permanently. This process, called sexual parasitism, involves the male's tissues literally merging with the female's. His circulatory system connects to hers, and he receives all his nutrients directly from her bloodstream. Over time, most of his organs degenerate. He loses his eyes, his fins, most of his internal organs, until he's little more than a sperm-producing appendage attached to the female's body. Some females have been found with multiple males attached, creating what scientists call a reproductive collective. This might seem like the ultimate sacrifice, but from an evolutionary standpoint, it's brilliant. The deep ocean is vast and dark, with anglerfish populations spread thinly across enormous areas. The chances of a male finding a female are incredibly small, so when he does find one, permanently attaching ensures he'll be able to fertilize her eggs for the rest of her life. For the female, having a permanent mate means she never has to worry about finding a partner when she's ready to reproduce. It's a strategy perfectly adapted to one of Earth's most challenging environments. Scientists studying anglerfish in 2025 have made new discoveries about how this fusion process works at the molecular level. It turns out that anglerfish have a unique immune system that allows them to accept foreign tissue without rejection, something that would normally be impossible in vertebrates. Understanding this mechanism could have implications for human medicine, particularly in the field of organ transplantation. It's another example of how studying even the strangest animal behaviors can lead to breakthroughs that benefit humanity. But let's step back and ask the bigger question. Why does nature produce such bizarre reproductive strategies in the first place? The answer lies in the fundamental challenge all living things face: passing on their genes to the next generation. Every environment presents different obstacles to reproduction. In the deep ocean, it's the vast distances and darkness. In dense forests, it's the difficulty of finding mates. In competitive environments, it's the presence of rival males or females. Evolution doesn't care about what seems normal or comfortable to us. It only cares about what works. And here's something really important to understand. These strategies aren't cruel or immoral in any meaningful sense. Animals don't have the capacity for moral reasoning the way humans do. They're simply following genetic programs that have been refined over millions of years. When a male seed beetle traumatizes a female during mating, he's not being malicious. He's following an instinct that has proven successful for his ancestors. When a banana slug chews off a body part to escape danger, it's not making a conscious choice. It's responding to evolutionary programming that says survival comes first. This is why conservation is so important. Every species, no matter how strange its reproductive strategy might seem to us, represents millions of years of evolutionary problem solving. When we lose a species to extinction, we lose not just that animal, but all the unique adaptations and solutions it developed. The banana slug's ability to survive apophyllation, the sea hare's toxin sequestration, the anglerfish's immune tolerance. These are all pieces of biological knowledge that took countless generations to develop. Once lost, they can never be recreated. The good news is that many of these species are doing well in their natural habitats, especially when those habitats are protected. Banana slugs thrive in the old-growth forests of the Pacific Northwest, playing a crucial role in decomposition and nutrient cycling. Sea hares are found in oceans worldwide, and while some populations face pressure from pollution and habitat loss, they're generally not considered endangered. Deep-sea anglerfish are harder to study due to their remote habitat, but surveys suggest healthy populations in most ocean basins. However, climate change poses new challenges for all these species. Warming oceans affect the distribution of sea hares' food sources, potentially disrupting their mating chains. Changes in forest moisture levels can impact banana slug populations, which need damp conditions to survive. Deep-sea environments are experiencing changes in temperature and oxygen levels that we're only beginning to understand. This is why ongoing research is so critical. By studying these animals and their remarkable adaptations, scientists can better predict how they'll respond to environmental changes and develop strategies to protect them. Here's something that might surprise you. Many of the strangest reproductive strategies in nature are also the most resilient. Hermaphroditism, for example, is incredibly adaptive. When every individual can potentially mate with every other individual, populations can recover more quickly from low numbers. This is one reason why many slug and snail species are so successful despite facing numerous predators. The ability to switch roles or perform both roles simultaneously gives them flexibility that species with fixed sexes don't have. Similarly, the extreme sexual dimorphism seen in anglerfish and green spoonworms, while seeming bizarre, actually represents a highly efficient use of resources. In environments where food is scarce, having tiny males that require minimal energy allows the species to support larger populations than would be possible if both sexes were large. It's an optimization strategy, and it works remarkably well in the deep sea where every calorie counts. So what can we learn from all these strange reproductive strategies? First, that nature is far more creative and diverse than most people imagine. The solutions evolution has produced to the challenge of reproduction are as varied as the environments animals inhabit. Second, that what seems strange or even disturbing to us often makes perfect sense when understood in context. These behaviors aren't random or pointless. They're the result of millions of years of natural selection favoring what works. And third, that every species, no matter how unusual, has value both in its own right and for what it can teach us about biology, adaptation, and survival. Before we wrap up, I want to share one more thought. In our human world, we often take reproduction for granted. We assume it will happen when we want it to, and we have the luxury of choosing our partners based on compatibility and attraction. But for most animals, reproduction is the ultimate challenge, the one thing they must accomplish to fulfill their evolutionary purpose. The bizarre strategies we've discussed today, from self-amputation to parasitic males to mating chains, all represent solutions to this fundamental challenge. They remind us that life finds a way, even in the most difficult circumstances. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. I hope you've learned something new and gained a deeper appreciation for the incredible diversity of life on our planet. These animals might have strange reproductive strategies, but they're all survivors, each one perfectly adapted to its environment. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Leave a comment with the most surprising fact you learned today, and subscribe for more fascinating animal content. We're constantly updating our videos with the latest scientific discoveries, so you'll always be learning something new. Until next time, keep exploring the amazing world of animals, and remember, nature is always stranger and more wonderful than we can imagine.